welcome to Words versus Words with Friends. This is a fun, interactive podcast where we challenge your mind and perspective using everyday words and phrases. I'm your host, Joeleen Santiago, and I have my co-host here, Shemeka Montgomery.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight here on Words versus Words with Friends. Words versus Words with Friends was created to bring back the real art of conversation. We want to create dialogue, and we also want to help you think outside the box. We have another set of awesome words, contentment versus fulfillment. And if we could get those definitions. So contentment is a feeling of quiet happiness and satisfaction. And fulfillment is the achievement of something desired, promised, or predicted, the meeting of a requirement or condition. So if we could go ahead and start with those. So for contentment, Joeleen, when I think about contentment, I just think about being satisfied. I think about being those little things, being satisfied with the little things. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree with that. Being satisfied with the little, just being satisfied. But then, when I think of the word fulfillment, I see in the word, it's, fill, where you are full. And I think my perception of that is contentment is, I believe, is temporary. I believe it's short. It's a short term, whereas fulfillment is more of a long term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. And I think that when you are content, you really are satisfied exactly where you are and what's going on with your life. There's things that just don't shake you because you are content on the inside. I feel like contentment comes from the inside, whereas fulfillment, I feel like sometimes we are influenced by other people because they think that we should be fulfilled by a certain thing.
So the big question, Shemeka, here, the big question, the number one question here is, which one do we think is better, to be content or fulfilled? What are your thoughts on that?
So I think being content is better because in whatever situation or whatever stage in life that you're in, you are content. I feel you have to be content before you can even be fulfilled. Because there are so many things and, people have so many ideas of things that you should be fulfilled by. They say, okay, you're a single person. You should be fulfilled by being married. Well, no, I'm content right now where I am. And so I feel like if I were to get married, if that means fulfillment, I just feel like I would enjoy it even more because I've already been content just being single, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. The way that I look at it, and that's a really good point, Shemeka. But the way that I look at it is I look at it as a meal, and to be content, you're just satisfied. So that meal, I mean, you're not, you're okay. You're okay. There's room for more. You can definitely enjoy some more. But you're okay. You don't want any more, and so the way that I look at it, if I look at it like as a meal, I look at it as, hey, and I apply that to life. Hey, there's room for growth. And I feel that just being content or just being satisfied, that I'm not, that I'm just okay. There's no room for growth. There's no room for development. There's no room for improvement. Whereas fulfilled, I feel like, that I can find ways of achievement or accomplishment where I'm going to be full. So at the end of the day, have I accomplished something? Is my life meaningful? Is what I'm giving going to benefit or help others? So that's what I see as being fulfilled.
And see, Joeleen, I know you really well. And so I had a feeling you was going to use that full in fulfillment, because in fulfillment, it has that word. And so you would think, yeah, I'm going to be full. But I just disagree with that, because I feel like being fulfilled in whatever area it is, whether it's career, relationship, where you live, the type of car you drive, I just feel like that is so temporary. Because what if you lose the car? What if you lose the job? What if you have a dream or goal that you have in mind and you don't reach it and you don't fulfill it? Then you become disappointed. Whereas if you're content, then you're content in any and every situation, regardless of what's going on. You know what I mean? So I just think To me, it's better to be content because wherever you find yourself, whatever situation happens, things that are out of your control, you're going to still be satisfied and happy and content. I feel like if you are content, then you can go up a level. And so there's something to achieve. Like you said, you can find things that fulfill you because those things might change. Tomorrow, something that might fulfill me would be to be a DJ. I know that's random, but your girl has always wanted to be a DJ. I know you probably never knew that about me. But I have always wanted to be a DJ. So tomorrow, that might be something that fulfills me. But what about the next day? What if I don't get to take those classes? Because I'm gonna tell you now, I've been planning on taking classes, even to be a massage therapist for the last 2 years. Have I done it yet? No. And so if I were to say, okay, if I'm not going to be a masseuse, I'm not going to be fulfilled, then guess what? I'm going to just be disappointed. So I've just decided be content. And then if you have those goals or things that you want to fulfill, then you can go up from there because at least on the inside, you have that satisfaction and you have that just that determination on the inside. And okay, I'm content with where I am now. I may move to another level, but at least right now, I'm just going to be content in all circumstances. That's what I think.
Hey guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. And, we've been talking about contentment and fulfillment. So we appreciate you joining in. We want to encourage you just to comment, to like, and to share this podcast. And so we have Monica. Thank you, Monica, for tuning in. She said, contentment is being thankful with and without. It's internally satisfied. I totally agree. I think it's temporary. I think contentment is short lived. I think Shemeka, the reason why you didn't go through with becoming a massage therapist is because you're content, and content means satisfied. Is I'm okay with where I'm at right now. So you're not going to advance or go up to a higher level because you are content. So for me, if I want more out of life, if I am tired of living the same way every day, I want to do something that's going to be fulfilling. So I'm going to go and advance my career. So I see it as, Shemeka, you were content. You were okay. You didn't really have that desire or that want to really go for or to achieve that.
But see, I disagree because I do still have that desire. I still have that desire to do that, to be a massage therapist and even a DJ. To be honest with you, I still want to play the saxophone. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't reached those, but it's still something that I can continue to work on in the future, So I just feel like me being content right now, that is a choice. It's a choice to be content. And I just want to bring out a scripture. So I have 1 Timothy 6:6 says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. So I just feel like if you are content, that is the very foundation so that you can be fulfilled in whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, or wherever your situation is. The first ingredient to me is being content, learning to be content.
Mm-hmm. So temporary, momentarily, being happy momentarily. So for me, I find that being fulfilled, I would rather be fulfilled more as a long term, like I've accomplished something. So I went to college, and you know what, I can appreciate the hard work that I put in for college. I can appreciate those long hours. It's more fulfilling for me, because when I go and want to advance on my job and I say, oh, look at all the time that I put in with college, to me, I feel it's more fulfilling for me, because of the hard work that I put into it. So being content and having that momentarily satisfaction may not get me that job promotion that I want. So for me, I feel being fulfilled is going to get me to a higher level. And I feel like I'm going to have that sense of accomplishment, that sense of achievement. I believe that sometimes when we are content, we become complacent, where we become so satisfied where we are that, hey, I'm good. I don't need to go anywhere else. I'm okay with where I'm at my job, and I don't want to go for the promotion. So I feel like sometimes when we get to the point where we're complacent, we don't want to see anything better. We're okay. And I think sometimes we settle.
Okay. Monica, thank you again for joining us tonight and your comment. She says there's a difference between contentment and being comfortable. You can be
Mm,
content and strive for more. And Monica, I do agree with that. You can be content in wherever you are. And you can also have the desire to move up. So, like you were saying, Joeleen, in your job, you might be content in that. I have another situation too where I had a partner who always encouraged me and said, "Why are you being so content in this job that you have? You have a degree, so you need to try to fulfill,
mm,
another job position." But that's the thing, though. That was something that he thought that I should do. That was a requirement or a standard that he had. And so for me, I was content where I was, because if you're content and you do decide to move up, then that's great. But then if you don't,
mm,
that's fine too, because you are content in every situation. And I think we do have people in our lives that do encourage us to move up, to advance in our career. But I still just think that contentment is something that's from the inside. It's that satisfied happiness. And I don't think that it's necessarily temporary. I don't think that it's necessarily temporary. Mm-mm.
We have a comment from Mike. Thank you, Mike. You could be comfortable and still want to strive for more. So for me, like I feel like, being content. I don't think that's enough. I feel like at the end of the day, like I need more, and I feel like, I may get tired, and I may get tired. I may be, and another thing too, Shamika, is that sometimes we look for happiness or we look for satisfaction in things and people. And so when we don't get that and they don't meet those expectations, hey, you're not making me happy. I'm going to go try to find it somewhere else. And I think sometimes we get to the point where we feel empty inside because we're looking at people or we're looking at circumstances. So I think when it comes to happiness, just overall, I think it's a state of mind. I don't think it should be based on circumstances, circumstantial happiness. I believe it's a state of mind. And I think that I think sometimes we get that confused with the state of mind versus circumstantial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think those are two totally different, scenarios when we really just think about it. And I really think about like, hey, one thing that I really enjoy a lot, is chocolate. And, chocolate is like, I'm telling you, like the woman's best friend, best treat, whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can go without chocolate, but hey, in order to meet my goals, I got to put chocolate aside for a little bit. But if I think about chocolate, right, and I think about, man, I got to have it. But after I
Mm-hmm.
have that piece of chocolate, am I satisfied? Am I satisfied?
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, I might want more, and I want more chocolate, and I want more chocolate, and then here comes the weight, and I'm gonna gain some weight. You know what I mean? So I
That's
think
good.
that's the way that I look at contentment is that I think of it like chocolate. It's gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
temporary. It's like what's gonna come next after I've eaten my chocolate. I need something
Mm-hmm.
more in life, and that's where fulfillment for me is like, okay, I need to attain or achieve something more than just
Mm-hmm.
being content.
That's good, Jolene. That's good. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We thank you so much for tuning in. We will be right back here on Words versus Words with Friends. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And we really hope you're enjoying this episode. We would love for you to join us here on Facebook, YouTube, and Spreaker every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
We encourage you to participate in our live chat rooms and to share your ideas and perspectives during the live show. Don't forget to go to next15podcast.com and tell us how we're doing. You can also catch up on future episodes of Words versus Words with Friends.
You can also check out past episodes of the Next 15 podcast show and Biblically Speaking with Trey North. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get back to the podcast. Still not meeting.
Okay, so what's your rebuttal? What's your rebuttal?
What is my rebuttal?
What's your example?
Okay, so you wanted him to wash the dishes, and then what did he want?
He wanted his needs met.
What kind of needs?
His manly needs. Use your imagination.
Oh, okay.
Your
Oh, his manly
imagination.
needs. Okay. So he wanted his manly needs met, and then you wanted him to wash the dishes. So what is the negotiation between the two?
We met in the middle. We both won. We both got what we wanted. It's a win-win.
Okay, so y'all exchanged the two things that you wanted. So you met his needs, and then he washed the dishes.
I got what I wanted. He got what he wanted.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Words versus Words with Friends. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host Shemeka, and I have my co-host Joeleen. Before the commercial, we were talking about our two words for tonight, contentment versus fulfillment. And Joeleen, you just believe that you have to be fulfilled, and it is better to be fulfilled than being content, correct?
I do. I definitely do. Hey, Shemeka, before we move on, proceed, I just wanted to let everybody know that was a clip from our last episode. So we want to encourage you, if you have not seen that clip, to go ahead and go back. It's funny. Every time I see that part, I always laugh. It's funny.
Every time.
So that's a good thing about Words versus Words with Friends, is that, we can have these discussions, and then we can have these moments of, where we laugh, we laugh and we joke, and, we may talk about some serious topics too. So, but we do definitely encourage you to be a part of this chat. We do appreciate your feedback, and we welcome your perspective. So anything that you have to say about contentment and fulfillment, we definitely welcome that. Yes. And so, I definitely, during our last podcast from our poll from episode 2, we were talking about obligated versus expectation. It says, do you feel obligated to do something because someone expected you to? So 94% said yes, and 6% said no. So every week we are going to have a poll up there for you guys to vote, depending on what words that we're going to be using in the podcast for that week. So we definitely encourage you to go ahead and vote each week. We appreciate your feedback, and we're going to share it with you on every episode.
That's awesome. And Joeleen, so I just want to tell you, I have another scripture about contentment.
Okay.
Sorry to hit you with the scriptures tonight, but when I think about contentment, that just kind of brought up one. So I have one from Philippians 4:12, and it says, I know what it is to be in need. And you know what? I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation. And so that scripture popped up in my mind when we decided on the words, because contentment, you are settled in every situation. You don't have to be disappointed because you didn't fulfill something that either you thought you should fulfill or somebody else thought that you should fulfill. Because like I say, when it comes to contentment, I do think that's something from the inside. We are content on the inside. And fulfillment, sometimes we have those pressures from the outside. Because like the example I used earlier, I had a partner who thought that I should be fulfilled by using my degree in his opinion. Shemeka, you have a degree. You need to advance. You need to have a different career, another position. But I didn't think so. I was content with where I was. Now, did I move up and get another position? I did. And I appreciated his encouragement. I appreciated the fact that he thought that I should fulfill another position by having a degree. I appreciate that. But I was content in that moment. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like if I was in the thought process of I have to be fulfilled by this position, like what if I didn't get it? What if I applied for it and didn't get it? Then I'm disappointed. So I just think that when you're content, it is something from the inside, and it is something that you have to learn to do. I don't know that it necessarily comes easily. I think we have to learn how to be content.
So Linda had a comment. Can you put that back up, please? Linda said, I believe fulfillment is a component of contentment. Okay, so would we agree that maybe fulfillment is a step up, maybe an advancement of contentment?
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
I totally agree, because I feel like you have to be content first, at the core. And then if you go up from there, the other level is fulfillment. I totally agree with that. And I just love this show, this podcast, Joeleen, because we find two words that are so close that they really do intertwine with each other.
Mhm.
And I just
So
love how we both have a different perspective on it.
right. So and we
Mhm.
respect each other's perspective.
Yes,
But you said something earlier. You said, so you think contentment is better than fulfillment? Is that correct?
I do.
So
I
you have a
do.
favorite scripture that you shared with me the other day. What is this
Ooh,
scripture that
you
you
little
what is this
sneaky
scripture? What is
little
this scripture
devil,
you shared with me the other
you.
day?
You is
You want me
sneaky,
I'll go ahead.
Jolene.
I will go ahead and
Ooh,
read it. John
Jolene.
10:10.
You
I
is
I came
sneaky.
that they may have and enjoy life and have it in abundance to the full, till it overflows. Full. You said that that is your favorite scripture, but yet you're sitting here telling me that contentment right here, you prefer that over fulfillment when you told me that
Jolene.
that is your favorite scripture
Jolene. You
to be full
sneaky.
to the point that you were overflowing.
You
You were
sneaky.
overflowing.
You sneaky. You is sneaky. See, I knew I was
I
being set up.
I
And you
think
know
somebody's
what?
fibbing.
Oh, hold on. I knew I was being set up because when I got that text from you, I started to go in and really go into explanation, but I didn't. I just said, smiley face, smiley face. Does it? Wow. Okay.
Uh,
I get it. But that's my favorite scripture. I
right?
can't lie.
Right?
It
To be
is.
full.
I want to be full.
Fulfillment.
But guess what?
Fulfillment.
I want to be content too, though. I want to be content and then I want to be full. See what I'm saying? So I
Gotcha.
want to be content first, so that I can enjoy the fullness or the fulfillment. See
So
what I
it
mean?
sounds like if you're not satisfied with the contentment, then you will go with the fulfillment.
Exactly. I agree with that. And you sneaky. You sneaky. That's how we doing it. Okay. I remember that. That's how we doing
You,
it
you
though.
know it. You know it. My mind is
Ooh.
always going. I'm
You
always
know
thinking.
what?
I
I
gotta
know
be
your
ready.
mind. Girl, I know
Hey, the
your
Bible
mind is
says always
always
be
going.
ready in season, out of season. I'm always ready, girl. I am always
You,
ready for you.
you is. You right. You right. You sure right. Wow. You got me good on that.
Yeah. hmm So
Mm.
yeah, so definitely, yeah, contentment. So it sounds like you're agreeing with me there a little bit more than in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
That's
Whereas
true.
contentment, yeah, it could be like for this moment, I am content. For this moment, I am
Mm-hmm.
happy. But if I need more, if I want to be filled up more to the point where I am going to now invest in others, where now I'm going to pour into others, like your scripture says, your favorite scripture,
Mm-hmm.
Shemeka, then I'm going to go with fulfillment. And now I'm to the point where I'm so full now I can pour into others.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. This has been an awesome episode tonight. We thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for your feedback. And we just want to thank you so much for all of the participation. And Joeleen, do you have any final comments?
I mean, it's just either way you look at it, whether being content, whether being fulfilled, that you got to look at what what is at the end of the day, what are you going to be happy with? If it's those little moments of being content, if that's the little moments of being happy, then that's what you need, then you go for that. If you feel that you need more and you want to be fulfilled to the point that now, hey, I'm not satisfied with what I have, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go do more. That is perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. So yeah, we have two totally different perspectives. We can appreciate it. We can share it with others. Facebook, we appreciate you. Spreaker, we appreciate you. We like to hear your perspective as well. And so we would really appreciate what you have to say. It is not just one way, period. We welcome what you have to say.
Mm-hmm. And you can follow Joeleen at Joeleen Vasquez on both Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow me on Facebook at Shemeka Montgomery. Also on Instagram at Mika Lives. We thank you so much for joining. For me, Shemeka, and for Joeleen, we will see you right here next week on Words versus Words with Friends.
You've been watching Words vs. Words with Friends podcast, brought to you by Next 15 Podcast Productions. If you would like to support the podcast, go to next15podcast.com and click the Buy Me Coffee tab, where we will receive your donations of any size. Thank you in advance and for watching the podcast. We will see you next week.